Hey!
I've got a problem. And you know how you can buy them in the little refillable? And then you're like, oh, that's great and dandy. But the refillable ends up costing more. That one's actually spraying. But if I hook this up to here, and I make sure it's on, but as you can see, if I put it down inside there, it was spraying. But you might go, that's not that big of a problem. How about this? Does this? Some of these freaking things are brand new, and none of them are pumping. Insert pump up the jam.
Pump up the jam, pump it up while your feet are stumping.
This is ridiculous. I hate that. This one is the one we converted to be able to run our misting kit on the fan. And there's literally just a piece of wire in there that bypasses the switch, because I actually took this whip off the bottom of the tank. But the switch tank allow you to take the tank off and the hose all in once. And then Milwaukee came out with this one. This is the M12. And I think these are 2 gallon, 3 gallon. So you can buy this if you have a girlfriend or a wife or a significant other that has so many plants in the world, and this little thing is taking forever to refill, right? Get her one of these.
My baby watering can
okay,
alone.
and then do this. Hey, honey. Hi, honey. Need your help. So since I bought you this amazing plant thing, could you go ahead and I don't want to contaminate your plants that much, so why don't we buy more stuff? What's the product number? But look, when you could have one, why not have 3? I'll show you why. Bugs. Cool. Weed and grass. What kind of weed?
Not the good kind.
Not the good kind. And Rondo. It's got electrolytes. What's that from? Comment below. And while you're commenting below, make sure you leave a like. We'd love for you guys to subscribe too. Do it! Just do it! But worst case scenario, I don't know, rage bait all your plant friends in the comments and send this to them and say your husband needs to get you this, or you need to get this for your wife. So what do we got going on here? Well, we almost had the same problem. Note to self, if you've ever done any concrete refinishing and they say you can use a sprayer, this one gives you more of a fan. You can't use these, and I'll show you why when I take these all apart. Okay, but you saw how I use this, right? So you can hold it like this. You can also get a strap. Interestingly enough, we think we lost ours. But, you know, we've only moved 3 times since we've owned it. Okay, it takes an M12 battery in the back. You can also store it.
Woo!
You have a speed selector. You have a battery indicator. You have 2 latches. And then I'm going to show you more on each tank. And then I'm going to get into what we've already found out about it. That's very interesting. It is also a measuring cup.
Little measures on it. It's fancy.
And then it comes with a strainer. Okay. But then it also, and this is the part a lot of people hated, that there was electronics and weird motors and stuff in there. And I've actually, all of mine leak now. And almost none of mine, the triggers work on. So Milwaukee, what do we got to do? So here is what they did instead. So this is sort of the pickup tube. It's got a little weight on the bottom. It's got a little, I don't know what you want to call it, a depressor. So that basically, right? What? If you don't poke it, it won't suck.
There you go.
Okay, it's that. And that is so that when this tank is disconnected from it, we're not going to have stuff leaking out of it. And if you look at the bottom, look at that screen on it. Right? Because you don't want to suck anything up into your motor and burn it up. But if you try to use any of those things where you have to pump solids like concrete, can chemical, you know, the mix itself is very, well, the granules are larger than that screen. You're going to notice that it's not going to work. When we got this thing would not pump any water. We tried 2 out of 3 tanks, and I was originally thinking, okay, it's like a siphon thing. I'm looking through the manual. I actually just took this off, hooked it up, put my air hose in here, and a rag, and primed the pump. So now what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to take all of these, I'm going to move them into tanks, and then we're going to have water, right? Easy peasy. Everything's solved, right? Milwaukee fixed a problem, but then they created one. Look what comes with the tank this time. And on that one, the wand is installed on it, right? So what they did is there's a lot of important parts in here, and they made the tanks cheaper. Awesome. But the tanks are going to be cheaper because they don't come with a wand. What happens if you're in a landscaping crew and you grab the one that says weed and feed and you put the one on that says Roundup or weed and grass killer or water, and you put it on there? I'm going to show you this. Okay, we have liquid in here. I'm going to disconnect it from the tank. Watch this. All of that liquid is still in here, which means if this is weed and feed, you're absolutely going to be spraying some kind of herbicide on things you might not want. Or if you're trying to put this on like your indoor house plants and it just had grass killer, and I know a lot of people say, why would you do that? Well, because it's a switch tank. That's the whole point of this, right? You're supposed to be able to go from this tank to this tank, but now you definitely have to worry about contaminating this wand. So realistically, anytime you go from a weed scenario and you go to water, you're going to want to pump this thing out, and you're going to want to do what I just did. But what I want to know, and you guys are going to find out live with me, and you're going to see how pissed off I get, or not, let's hope, right, is that we're going to want to pump this tube dry. So that's good. Don't ask me, I don't know why, the first time I had to use compressed air. But so far I've been able to switch the tanks and I'm not causing a problem. But what I'm going to pretty much say and have Jen do is that anytime she's going from water, or when I'm done using pesticide, I'm going to take this outside and I'm going to go like that until that thing starts sputtering. And then I'm going to have to hook it up to her water one. And then I'm going to have to run a couple cups through it because we don't want weed killer.
I would cry.
In it. Right. Now, realistically, what I'll probably try to do is, since this is not that big, is just convince her to buy a second power head.
Oh no.
Right.
Please don't make sure my plants
because
don't
these,
get
I
killed.
can't use these for anything now. I have one that's clogged with concrete dust. Don't ask me why. Don't just, we won't even go there. But
For science, it was interesting.
exactly. But for science, I think it's still a great idea. In fact, they have a new switch tank. I'd love to get my hands on it. But this is probably good enough for most of it. Now, I like that that's a backpack. Weirdly enough, the backpack straps, can you see this? On this one are less padded than the straps on the Milwaukee backpack vacuum. 5 gallons times 10 gallons a gallon is 10 pounds per gallon, is 50 pounds. We know the vacuum cleaner is not going to weigh 50 pounds, but with that bracket and all that stuff, there's no way this thing weighs less than 50 pounds when you fill it up. And it's outrageously uncomfortable on your back. So maybe that's why they scrapped the whole thing, came out with a completely different design. I haven't got it. I don't know. I would love to know if you guys have the big brother to this, the M18, the big new switch tank, is what's the deal with the hose? Does the hose stay with the tank or does it stay with the backpack? Because if it stays with the backpack, I think this is a serious flaw that you're going to have to sit there and flush it, because that's literally the reason why some people have multiple pump tanks, because they don't ever want to risk mixing their chemicals. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take my Brondo, weed and grass, home defense. I would say that it could use some PACKOUT modifications. That was a terrible idea. I'm going to go and I'm going to pack myself out of this because we don't have time for all these bad ideas. Bye.